Okay. Am I live? I think I'm live. I am so sorry. It has been the weirdest day. Um, I am late because I thought Facebook was working. No, let me go further back. I'm late because I was on Zoom and I couldn't get Zoom to work so that you could see my face and the covers. So I gave up and decided to just do Facebook Live on Facebook. Um, I know it's technically slightly different. Whatever. I was just going to show, my presentation screen with the covers of the books and everything. And I thought it worked. I proceeded to do the entire show. And then I looked down and it says um, Facebook was unable to start live video. So I've already done this show, but I'm going to do it again because no one got to see it. Okay, welcome to Tea and New Book Tuesdays. I'm Lisa. Our books for October 13th are going to be in the theme of Silver Labels, which is romance fiction, and Our World Right Now, which is my name for current events nonfiction. For today's giveaway, I feel like you guys have gotten so many books that some of you are like, I don't really want another book. My to be read pile is big enough. No more books. Um, so if you would like a book, I have so many to give away. I just have two whole shelves over here of advanced reader copies. Most of these have already been released. But if you want a book, just put, I want a free book, and then tell me what location, what MPL location you want to pick it up at, and I will send one there for you. West is still closed, but hopefully they'll be open by next week. So I'll also hold on to it if you want to pick it up at West. So, and everyone else, if you want to just comment, then we can just chat about books. I mean, why not? Today's tea is Twinings Winter Spice, which I put away because I wasn't going to be on camera, and then I'm now on camera. That's what that one looks like. I really like it because I can drink it without sugar, and which I use it as an excuse to eat cookies while I have tea. But it has a really nice flavor. I finished Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Weir wrote The Martian, and I loved The Martian. Like, I read it 3 times. I read this in like a weekend, like 3 or 4 days. I absolutely loved it. I'm usually like a book a week or book every 2 weeks is probably more my speed. But I just ripped right through this. It doesn't come out till May, but you guys are going to want to get it when it does, because if you love The Martian, you will love this book. It feels like The Martian, but has a very different plot. My full review is up on Goodreads on the Tea and New Book Tuesday group. If you would like to join us, you can get my full reviews. Also, I attach every book I talk about today and then I've talked about the last several weeks onto that group so that you can go and click on a title you're interested in, read the full description, or read reviews or anything like that. And sometimes with these things, you can enter giveaways from those pages. If you, I mean, you may get it, you may not, but you would either get a physical copy or an ebook, and it's completely free. So, why wouldn't you want that? Next up, I'm going to read I Want to Be Where the Normal People Are by Rachel Bloom, which comes out November 17th. Rachel Bloom is the writer, star, and co-creator of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I watched and enjoyed. That show is completely done if you want to go watch it. I think if you've dealt with anxiety or depression or really any mental health, mood disorder issues, then I think Crazy Ex-Girlfriend would resonate really well with you. But that kind of feels like everybody, so, if you like your humor in musical form and a bit bawdy, then you might like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And I suspect I'm going to really like I Want to Be Where the Normal People Are. I'm super bummed that you guys can't see the cover because it's very Judy Blume, but the name feels, it's clearly a reference to Disney's The Little Mermaid, which is very on brand for Rachel Bloom. But that won't come out until November 17th. I'll probably have a review. I'm almost definitely going to finish it and have a review for you next week on Goodreads. Okay, let's get into Silver Labels, aka I'm in the mood for love. It's a little disappointing you can't see the covers, and I've got to keep remembering that because in the version of this I just did, I kept forgetting to say the name and the author. And if I do that this time, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about. So, The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah M. Eden. This is a historical romance. It's book 3 in a proper Victorian romance series, I think is the name of it. Each title has different characters, so I don't think you necessarily need to read them in order. And all are set in the UK. I think this one is set in London. This specific title is about a gentleman who is from a wealthy family or a very highborn family, and they really don't have any money anymore, so he's getting by writing penny dreadful novels. The woman is from a more merchant class, I suppose middle class family that is now bankrupt. She's getting by teaching music and stealing back her family's knickknacks in the evenings. So they band together to try to solve a series of robberies that have happened in London. The reviews are pretty positive. It's falling at about 4 stars, and we also own series 1 in this book. So The Gentleman and the Thief by Sarah Eden will come out November 3rd. Oh no, I'll stay right here. Okay. Shall We Dance by Shelly, Shepard, Gray. It's going to be the first book in a new series called Dance With Me. There's been some change to the title, I think. I think it was originally called Save the Last Dance, but as I know from trying to search this book and find out more about it, that title is a nightmare in Google and Amazon because it automatically brings up a movie. That's the thing. I'm a film lover as well, so I don't take this away from them, but if there's a movie with a title, you cannot write a book with that title. You just can't. The movie gets thousands more searches than a book ever will. So you're just stuck with it. But anyway, Shall We Dance? I don't know if the whole series is going to be about these characters, but in this one, the protagonist is a dance instructor who lives above her dance studio with her sisters, and she's trying to be professional with her very handsome new student who is a police officer who is only taking dance lessons because he lost a bet. So the reviews are pretty positive. It's falling in, again, around 4 stars. Nope, sorry. I just read you what The Gentleman and the Thief said. For this one, it's getting 4 stars from librarians on NetGalley, and it's getting 5 stars from fans on Goodreads. We also have a lot of titles by Shelly Shepard Gray because she's a very popular romance author. The Shall We Dance comes out November 17th. All right. To Steal a Heart by Jen Turano. This has been classified as Christian historical fiction. So the main character is a lady who was a thief as a child. She was with a little child thiefy gang, which was a thing, I guess. Anyway, she's reformed, but a young woman, a friend of hers in her boarding house, is accused of, I think, stealing something. And she knows it's not true. So to protect her friend, she's breaking into a safe to find evidence. And she's caught by one of her childhood thieving friends, who is, I assume, also an attractive man because they're going to fall in love. We have tons of Jen Turano's books because she's a really popular romance novelist. The early reviews, there's only a handful of them, but they're pretty enthusiastic. And Steal a Heart comes out November 17th. Are we done? No, The Cul-De-Sac War by Melissa Ferguson. Okay, so this is a series finale, according to my notes, but not according to this cover, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it's about 2 professionals who flirt at a coffee shop. Nope, that's a different book. Sorry. Yep. See, this is why I don't put my papers away too fast. Cul-De-Sac War by Melissa Ferguson is considered both romance and women's lit. Is the one book in this that is not in this today's show that is not part of the series. Our protagonist has to stay in her home for 1 year, and if she does that, her family will let her inherit her dream home, which is her grandmother's house. But her neighbor is all kinds of annoying, so the two of them end up in a prank war. It's coming in at a solid 4 stars. This is only Ferguson's second book, but we do own her first book. It's called Dating Charade. And the Cul-De-Sac War comes out on November 10th. Now, my final romance book today is Everything Changes. It does say in my notes, by Catherine Bybee, by the way. It does say in my notes that this is a final of a series. I don't see anything on the cover about it being a series, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But this is about 2 professionals who flirt at a coffee shop, but aren't really focused on love, so they part ways. And then, of course, their careers collide. Catherine Bybee is a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author. We have a ton of her stuff. This book is getting 4 and 5 star reviews, and we have several of her other books. We also have a bunch of her stuff on audio if you prefer an audiobook. But Everything Changes comes out November 10th. All right. Moving on to current topic nonfiction, or what I'm calling our world right now. I feel like when I need tea, my voice gets really high. Okay. Book number 1, Last Giants. The Rise and the Fall of the African Elephant by Levison Wood. The cover seems to be in flux. I've seen some where you can see the author and some where you just see the elephant. So Focus on the Last Giants is the title in Levison Wood. Apparently the African elephant population has halved, or did have, over the course of like 50 years, which is a massive loss of life. So Wood is telling the story of his travels through Africa and talking to the people who are caring for the elephants and all of everything that's sort of around this situation. He intends this as an education on how this species has declined so rapidly and what we can do about it. We have several of Wood's other books. He writes a lot about traveling through the natural world. He has a series of walking books, one of which we own, called Walking the Himalayas. It's getting some pretty solid 4 star reviews, and The Last Giants comes out November 3rd. All right, I don't know if this one like fully fits into this category, but it was really interesting and I don't have another place to put it, so I put it here. This is called No Time Like the Future, An Optimist Considers Mortality by Michael J. Fox. Fox has written 2 other memoirs that were very well received, and I think a lot of people enjoyed and found insightful. I think he's written them both since he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. In this one, he's once again discussing what's going on with him, but now we're adding aging to the Parkinson's diagnosis. And he has to have a spinal surgery at one point, which puts his mobility at risk. And after that, he has a really bad fall, and there's a serious possibility that he might not walk again. I'm not big on celebrity memoirs. Like, some of them can be really interesting, but I feel like that person can talk about fame. Like, that's a subject that they can talk about with a certain amount of authority. But when they want to wander off that, then it sort of becomes questionable. This one, I feel like Fox talking about living with a degenerative condition, he's an expert on this subject. Very much so. He's an advocate for Parkinson's sufferers and for survivors, and I think this could be a really interesting book. But there are no early reviews. We're buying it in audio and large print as well. So No Time Like the Future by Michael J. Fox comes out November 17th. Now, the next one is called Oak Flat, A Fight for Sacred Land in the American West by Lauren Redness. Redness is an acclaimed journalist, and she's writing about the conflict between the San Carlos Apache Indians in Arizona, and they want to protect their land and their reservation. On the other side of this battle is the U.S. government and two very large, well-funded mining companies. The mining companies want the copper that's on the land. This is very much David and Goliath situation, and it is still ongoing. So Oak Flat comes out November 17th. All right. I'm really bummed you can't see the cover of this one because I think it's a really neat cover. But anyway, let me get tea before I get pitchy. Okay. A Wolf at the Schoolhouse Door, The Dismantling of Public Education and the Future of School by Jack Schneider and Jennifer Berkshire. The authors are hosts of a popular podcast called Have You Heard? This one is described as a trenchant analysis of how public education is being destroyed in overt and deceptive ways and how to fight back. The authors explain that there is a very well-resourced, which I assume means well-funded, movement in America right now to end public education. The authors delve into how this movement developed, how it fits into the current political landscape, and what America would look like if they succeeded. So, A Wolf at the Schoolhouse Door comes out November 17th. All right. This is my hidden book that I only added to our Goodreads list today, so it'll be a surprise. It's although it's not a surprise because I think everyone knows this book is coming out. It's called A Promised Land by Barack Obama. This is the first of Obama's presidential memoirs. I don't know how many there will be. I don't know if that's been announced or not. Based on the description, it both covers his youth all the way to the Affordable Care Act, which is a little surprising because I thought the Affordable Care Act was during his second term. That might, if I'm right about that, then he's covering such a large time frame that I can't imagine these volumes are going to be separated out chronologically. I think he's separating by theme or discussion or something like that. It's described as this beautifully written and powerful book captures Barack Obama's conviction that democracy is not a gift from on high, but something founded on empathy and common understanding and built together day by day. They also on Amazon have an about the author that begins, Barack Obama was the 44th president of the United States. And it ends, he lives in Washington, D.C. with his wife, Michelle. They have two daughters, Malia and Shasha. So we can file that under things we already knew that Amazon did not need to explain to us. Okay, this is important. We're definitely buying this book. We're probably buying it on large print and audio, but we don't have the record up yet. I wanted to tell you about it as soon as possible, so you would know what's coming and be looking out for it. But I'm also going to check our catalog every day, and as soon as the record is up, I will put a note on the Goodreads group telling everybody to run. Go put your hold on it before everybody else does. But it comes out November 17th. All right. Remember to join me in our Goodreads group. That's where I post my reviews. I've got links to every book that I've discussed today, so you can look at the longer description, which is usually like the back cover description or the inside flap description, and reviews from regular readers like you. I'm also going to I've added notes there, either previewing giveaways that I'm going to do in the future, or I will end up adding the note about when A Promised Land is in our record. If you would like to subscribe to our newsletter, New Book Highlights, you get another description of every single one of the books I've talked to you about today, but you can also click on the title and it'll take you directly to the record in our catalog, and you can put it on hold if you like. If you would like a free book, then go ahead and put I want a free book. I would like to pick it up at this MPL location in the comments. If not, just say hey or tell me which book you think sounds most interesting today. And join me next week for more November titles. All right. Thank you. Bye.